since trading away their Hall of Fame goaltender Jonathan Quick, but they keep rolling along. Why are the Kings so underrated?
Because they're disciplined. They know where they're supposed to be, and they're always there. They stick to the system.
Thank you so much for your analysis, Elliot. Let's stay in the Pacific Division for our same-game parlay, brought to you by our good friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Golden Knights, Oilers, over 1.5 goals in the first period. Over 2.5 total goals for each team, so that's 3 or more. And the Golden Knights to come from behind to win like they've done 16 other times. A $10 wager will give you an $80 payout. You can get in on the action right now with our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that QR code to download the app, and we'll remind you to play at your own pace. Back to you, Ron.
Great, Kevy. Goats have great beards, Elliot. You're right. All right, you loved this, Kevin, earlier today.
This was the first shift of the game, and this is the last time Tampa and Boston are going to play in the regular season, and a little bit of a message sending going on, I think, from Tampa, because if they meet in the second round, I don't think Tampa is going to be too impressed with their record, but that's the way it started. This is the way it ended, Ron. 2-1 Bruins.
The guy who took that punch from Maroon, Garnet Hathaway, scores the game winner from Brisling. Okay, a short break, and then a lot of NHL hockey comes to the fore.
In association with the NHL and Sportsnet.
Can't sleep. Yeah, you're ready. Hey. Can't breathe. Here we go.
Everything getting harder to find. Everybody jumping out of their mind. Everybody going out of their skin. See, we get to the end, but that's where we begin. You feel it? Mannequins and we breaking the mold. Breaking out and we breaking the codes. Similar to the jack who stole to the depths in your wet, so you take explosive and get it out. Send your body to flight. Everybody got a target tonight. Everybody come along for the ride. All you studs and your duds and your ladies is fly. Grip the moment like you're gripping the earth. Feel a weight and you're feeling the girth. Now you get it, now you're feeling your worth. Fitness how you used to make when everything used to hurt. It goes.
Austin Matthews, what a beauty!
No time to rest.
Connor McDavid,
Just do your best.
his 60th goal!
What you hear is not a test. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you go. Gotta make it on time. Brightest star gonna be the guide. Gotta get you to the other side, to where the butterflies and where the peace resides. The first 5 minutes for the 15 of fame. 5 seconds for you saying my name. Deadly sharp shooting the game. Gonna hit you in the soul. Execution is aim. Yes. No time to rest. Just do your best. What you hear is not a test. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States and Newfoundland.
This is Hockey Night in Canada on Sportsnet.
You want action? We've got action for you here tonight.
Oh, did you see that?
What a performance. Doesn't get any better than this.
What a play! What a goal! He's got a step. He's in alone.
There's a chance for Crosby. He scores! Absolutely amazing.
First of all, Brothers of Manchester, UK, site of the 2002 Commonwealth Games. Jonathan Power, Kelly, won the squash gold medal at those games. That was a highlight for me, but that was great. Chemical Brothers in advance of Toronto and Carolina. Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson, Sean McKenzie are there. Mike Luck, Jamal Mayers, and Carolyn Cameron are stationed in New Jersey for the Ottawa Senators and the New Jersey Devils on Sportsnet 1. City TV and Sportsnet East has the Jackets and the Habs. It's John Bartlett, Gary Galley, and Kyle Vakoskis at Bell Center in snowy Montreal this evening. And off to Dallas, 4 games early on American Airlines Center will have on Sportsnet Pacific and City locally John Shorthouse, John Garrett, and Dan Murphy. And then later tonight, it's the Pride Game, the annual celebration in Edmonton, Vegas, and the Oilers, Hunter Ryan Singh, Louis DeBrusque, and Scott Oak. Good evening. Welcome to Hockey Night in Canada. Here's Jennifer Botterill, Kelly Rudy, and Kevin Bieksa. And spring has sprung, the grass is riz, and let there be no doubt, best on best is where the action is.
Baseball wins tonight. A matchup we've all been wanting to see. 3-2 from Ohtani. He throws. Trout strikes out swinging.
Ohtani incredible, maybe the best pitch ever for another World Cup
Here
of
they
hockey.
come again. At center, Henrik Sedin was all alone. McKinnon's all alone. He shoots. He scores.
It's how Mario Lemieux came out in 1987. It's how Eric Lindros shone as a kid in 1991. Those World Cups are terrific. Let's have one. I think we're all in agreement. We're going to talk about that on To The Point in the first intermission. We've got 4 great games for you. Let's get right down to Raleigh, North Carolina, and Sean McKenzie for scene set number 1. Sean.
Ron, there's a famous saying in the fitness world, a well-built physique is a status symbol. It takes dedication. It cannot be bought or inherited. So maybe that is how Rod the Bod Brind'Amour has earned the respect of the Hurricanes players and the fans. But more likely, it's his vast experience, knowledge, and the fact he has led the Canes to 5 straight playoff appearances. But for Brind'Amour and Sheldon Keefe, they have both had tremendous regular season success, but have yet to lead their team all the way. They are 2 very different teams, 2 different styles, but once again we get to see 2 cup contenders go head to head here in Raleigh. Now let's send it to Carolyn Cameron in New Jersey.
Sean, it was a statement 7-2 win for the Ottawa Senators Thursday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which got them 5 points back at the second wildcard spot in the East. Brady Tkachuk with 2 goals in the win as the Sens captain is trying to will his team into the playoffs, but they lost Jacob Chychrun. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks with a lower body injury. Ridley Gregg is out for the remainder of the regular season. For the Devils, disappointment, missed opportunity last night in Buffalo. Tonight, 2 points, and they'll clinch a playoff spot for the first time in 5 seasons. Now to Montreal and Kyle Bukauskas.
Well, Carolyn, Marty St. Louis, never short of thoughtful analogies and comparison whenever talking hockey. This morning he talked about the 5 brains on the ice, all needing to be on the same software. You know, it said he all started when he was coaching 7-year-olds as he tried to find ways to connect with the young athletes. In a lot of ways, he is like a hockey philosopher. He's big on the final 10 games connection for his Canadians. And how about this for connection? It is Indigenous Celebration Night. The players saying hi to the kids on the way into the building. A story of a love affair between a country and a game, and it always feels just a little bit bigger around these parts still whenever Carey Price is in the house. Dan Murphy, down to you.
Thank you very much. Canucks 8-2 in their past 10. This team playing for pride. Some guys playing for jobs. They'd love some good vibes going into the offseason ahead of next season. One look at the Central Division standings, however, will show you that the Stars are playing for much more than that. Currently sit on top, a point clear of the Minnesota Wild, 2 clear of Colorado, but the Avs do have a game in hand. The Stars looking up to 4 points back of Vegas for the Western Division, Western Conference title. And Pete DeBoer says, rest be damned, they want to finish as high as they can, but we can say that Jake Ottner not getting the start this evening. Ron.
Murph, thank you. They have been impressive under Rick Tocchet over the last 10 games. And if you didn't hear John Garrett announcing he'll be stepping back from the regional games next year, still with us for the Nationals, though, so we'll celebrate Cheech as well tonight.
More time to eat cheeseburgers and french fries.
That's no Hockey Night in Canada next.
We're only here to make
The Leafs and the Hurricanes. One change for Toronto. Morgan Riley back in. Eric Gustafson is out. It'll be Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson with the call of tonight's game. Puck drop coming up in a few moments, but first we send it to the national anthems. Enjoy the game, everyone.
Tonight's colors is the Raleigh Fire Department Honor Guard. Now at this time, please rise if you are able. Kindly remove your caps and join us as we honor both nations represented tonight. First with the singing of O Canada, followed by the Star Spangled Banner. Performed this evening by Mason Greer.
Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see the rights, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's the third meeting of the season. The Maple Leafs looking for a series sweep against the Metropolitan Division leading Hurricanes from PNC Arena in Raleigh on Hockey Night in Canada. Welcome inside as we set the starting goaltenders for you. Matt Murray will get the call for the Leafs. He has won 2 straight. And Murray with a .931 save percentage, looking to win 3 consecutive games for the first time since November. At the other end, we will not see Frederik Andersen, who started the previous 3. There's rookie Pyotr Kochetkov, who gets the call. He gave up 5 on 24 shots 8 days ago in Toronto. Austin Matthews is heating up. 6 goals in his last 8 after a pair in Florida. Now 2 off the team lead. And Sebastian Aho has 4 goals in his last 3. He leads Carolina with 31. Craig, the Leafs faced a high-powered offense in Florida. This is a cup-contending worthy defensive team in Carolina.
Yeah, another really good test and a good opportunity to test yourself against a team that really puts a lot of pressure on you. You got to be able to make plays under pressure, something Sheldon Keefe felt good about what this team was able to do in Florida.
Matthews out along with Marner and Calle Jarnkrok, and here's Austin Matthews going to the attack, starting against the Stahl line, a matchup we expect to see most of the night. Up with it is Marner. He'll feed it back to Luke Schenn, holds and then fired into the glove of Kochetkov.
You like starting Matthews again and see what your opponent, Rod Brind'Amour, will go against. It's been quite a couple of weeks for Matthews. You're going up against McDavid against the Edmonton Oilers, McKinnon against the Colorado Avalanche, and this is a little bit of a different one where more of a defensive line against his offensive line, and this is where the Tavares line will have a challenge here with this matchup.
Yes, Tavares up against Sebastian Aho. There's a high stick as it came down and clipped Necas, and the Leafs are going to be shorthanded very early in this one.
Yeah, the question is he bleeding as McCabe looking back. Necas, you know, that's why that play, the flip pass into the neutral zone, is such a tough one for defenders.
Minor penalty, high stick.
You're focusing on the puck, and that's not considered a follow through like a pass would be. But you could see McCabe was not focusing on Necas at all. He was trying to get a piece of that puck and instead got the Hurricane player. So 40 seconds in, the penalty kill and a power play opportunity for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Just a minor 2 minutes. Although I wasn't so sure Necas didn't pull a tooth out there, but it is just a 2-minute penalty against McCabe. And out to work is Teravainen with a shot, and Murray gets a piece of that. The centering play, back to the line. Gostisbehere a shot, and the Leafs with a clear. Gostisbehere, the acquisition from Arizona, scored power play goals in each of his first 2 games as a Hurricane.
Yeah, I thought he rushed that one, though. The puck came back to him and nobody in front.
There's a sharp angle test for Murray, and he's able to hold on to that as Necas gets a chance.
That one looked like it stung him a little bit. It got him up in the neck area as he reacted after making that save. He's going to take a little extra time here. Is coming with some speed from a bad angle, and you know, just sometimes right underneath in that collarbone area can be uncomfortable. And he's taken as much time as he can, and the official giving him an opportunity to settle in.
Hurricanes power play 18th. They had a 7-for-9 run, but since then 2 of their last 20. And the Leafs 12th on the kill. And a face-off won by David Kampf. TJ Brodie taken to the end boards. Well, they scoop back towards the point, but Necas able to play it for Teravainen. Bouncing to the line, it stayed in. And now a chance for Aho, and he'll get tucked down, and there's going to be another penalty against the Leafs. They're going to be shorthanded for 71 seconds.
Yeah, Noel Acciari with the little, just a hook in as Aho trying to drive it through 3 players. You can see Brodie's watching it on the big screen there. He doesn't like it. And he's only got one hand on his stick. That's the old can opener, as you say, but it's in on the hands. Not much of a play. And it wasn't that Aho went down, it's more the stick in the hand. So a 5-on-3 for a minute and 11. What a test here early on for the Leafs penalty kill.
Wry smile from Sheldon Keefe, like, so that's the way it's going to be called tonight.
Yeah, tough start, isn't it, when you take those 2 early penalties? Same guys are playing the whole time.
Who wins the draw? It's Kampf out along with Hall and Brodie. Here's Brent Burns, kicked away by Murray's right pad. It runs right back to Burns. Into the slot for Aho. Hall able to disrupt that. Burns again, a one-time blast. That missed the target. Necas will reload for Burns up top. He'll walk in, scores! 13th of the year for Burns, a 5-on-3 power play goal for Carolina.
Well, we saw the setup for the one-timers on both sides. You got Gostisbehere to the right here. Watch Burns, that little hesitation took away the penalty killing of Kampf. He went for the passing lane. That's why, because of a couple bombs earlier on, Gostisbehere missed. You can see Kampf tried to take away the pass. Instead, Burns readjusts in that quick little wrister. A fake of the pass across and underneath the glove there of Murray with the quick wrister from Burns.
So Carolina cashes and still has a minute and a half of power play time, 5-on-4 as Marner comes out on the kill. 13th of the year for Burns, his 3rd on the power play. And here's Jarvis trying to get to the net. It'll come back to Kotkaniemi and Burns. Here's Curry Kotkaniemi right on. Rebound knocked back towards Kotkaniemi as they reload. Burns once again. Down low, it's kicked back, and that shot is deflected out of play.
Well, pretty good quick puck movement as you know you've got the threat of the big shot on the back end. And so if you start to overplay that, look at the pressure from up top. Good follow-up pressure there by Kerfoot. Liljegren with the attempt as well, and a good job of Giordano going down and at least forcing a shot to go up and over on that little shuttle pass quickly into the slot area.
So 57 seconds remaining.
Look at the eyes of Brind'Amour explaining that to the young Drury. That's great, isn't it?
Perfect.
And that is Rod Brind'Amour. I mean, that's his personality, that's his energy, and there's a great example of it coming off the power play chance, just trying to get him to maybe adjust a little bit with his movement.
That gum gets a workout behind the Carolina bench, doesn't it?
Does it ever.
Here's Shane Gostisbehere across. Into the slot it goes. Nate just trying to feed it through. Bouncing puck, and Murray able to get that and hold on. And now 47 seconds remaining.
Boy, good job of Murray, though, is the quick puck movement forces side to side. That one just barely gets through. Now look at the traffic in front. It's hard to find that one through the traffic as he maybe got bumped a little bit by his own guy, Luke Schenn, but did a heck of a job at falling back and making the save.
And the face-off win scramble in front. Here is scooped by Natchez to Teravainen. Nason centered it, and that was cleared by Murray. Pretty nifty swat of the puck by the Leaf netminder.
That was a tough play, wasn't it? It was almost he was on one knee and still able to fire that one out.
Carolina sifting back through. Natchez leads Carolina in points in a breakout season as he's up to 65 on the year. That's scooped in front, and Justin Hall's got a little room to move. It's a 2-on-1. Lafferty across, maybe a 3-on-1. Lafferty looking for his 5th shorthanded goal of the year. In front, nice stop there by Kochetkov, and another off Hall as the Leafs get 3 shorthanded chances.
Boy, what a sequence that was. It just a smart play by Hall. You got to make a split-second decision. Do I just dump this out, or can I make something out of it? And he decides to get on his horse. Does a good job of creating a little bit of space. Now the play in tight there on the short side, but a second chance for Aston Reese. The blocker save on that one comes right back to Hall. And 2 good saves, shorthanded, on a play made possible by Hall joining the rush.
Hall had an assist. He was +3 in the 6-2 win over Florida on Thursday. Achari back out, and the Leafs get back to full strength, which has not been the case for much of the opening 4 minutes. Here's Jordan Martinook, deep in Toronto territory. Point shot by Shea. And already 10 shots on goal for Carolina, not even 4 minutes in. Morgan Rielly back in the lineup after a load management day off. Here's Shea again, and that will stick to Murray with Fost on the doorstep.
Ontario. DraftKings Sportsbook has so many ways to get in on the action, like same-game parlays, puck lines, money lines, and more. Download the app and get in on the action.
Well, which title will be the one book to shift your perspective? Find out this week on Canada Reads, Monday to Thursday at 1, 2 Atlantic at 2:30 in Newfoundland on CBC and CBC Gem.
You can see early on everything to the net for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're 3rd in the National Hockey League with shooting. Shots 4, and everything just funneled down very quickly. You got back-to-back games. Florida was #1 in the NHL, and the Leafs gave up 35 shots on that night. But here early on, especially with the power plays, it just put you back on your heels, and Toronto's got to make some plays under this pressure now and get some offensive zone time.
First time in 9 games the Leafs have not scored first. Matthews out left it, thinking McCabe had room. Now Marner with a redirect. Yarncroke on a second try, got it to Matthews, kicked it loose, got it to McCabe, who rolled it in on goal and cleared away by Kochetkov.
Well, that got deflected by his D-man, didn't it? That was a tougher save than it looked.
Now Aho driving, but we've got a offside at the line, negating a Hurricane chance.
You know, sometimes the stats don't always tell all the stories with this Carolina team, and defensively, though, they do. Well, here's the play on the deflection in front. Kochetkov does an excellent job of getting it out of harm's way, and this Carolina team, as Sheldon Keefe said coming in, they get on you so quickly that they really do force you to just be good with the puck and make those quick little support passes to get out.
They held the New York Rangers to 16 shots on Thursday, and in the first period, the Rangers did not have an even strength shot. Their only 3 came on the power play. 16 times this year, 20 shots or fewer. Stefan Nason to Kotkaniemi off the side of the cage. Here's Burns, Kotkaniemi, a shot knocked down in front, and Lafferty flipped it ahead, but not out of the zone. Nason played it back, and that's offside as it comes outside the blue.
So it said Carolina, sometimes the stats don't tell all the story. I mean, the one thing that they're the first in the National Hockey League at dumping in, and you see they have the most shot attempts per game and third most on net, but the puck possession. And you've kind of seen it early on. It's kind of shocking that they're 32nd in the league with puck possession. But even in this, when they've had the puck in there, they haven't possessed it all that much. They shoot it as quickly as they can. And as I said, defensively, they can give you some trouble.
There's William Nylander winding it up. Riley trying to scoop it in, but that ends up in the Carolina bench.
Now, this is a start on the road. You know, you're kind of glad at least you've kept it to one. And I'll be interested in this first commercial break as Sheldon Keefe is negotiating with the official there, saying, you know, you put us back on our heels, and this is where you need your team to just settle back into the game, kind of get a reboot and get the game started again.
Just looking at all the numbers coming in, this had playoff rehearsal written all over it, didn't it?
It sure did. And really, that is the mindset you have right now. You know, amazingly, after tomorrow in Nashville, you'll be down to single digits. 9 games left after tomorrow's game. And the players start thinking playoff mindset. You know, the coaches are as well. And this is a great test for both these teams.
John Tavares digs in on that offensive zone face-off, but it was pulled away from him by Natchez and slides back down into Toronto ice. Around it comes Teravainen across, and a one-time hot shot went high. Michael Bunting trying to clear, kept in by Shea.
There's an example. Get puck possession off the dump in, and one pass, and it's one shot.
Not a long cycle, is it?
No cycle time, no offensive zone time, but a grade A scoring opportunity from it.
Brody back in his own zone. Taken to the boards. Scrum there along the wall. Yes, Puljujarvi acquired from Edmonton at the trade deadline. Trying to dig it out of there. Derek Stepan in the middle of it for Carolina. Leafs got it loose, but not out. Burns shot off the stick. Now fed up top again. And Slavin looked for the ricochet there, and he had Drury back door. There's a shot that gets through a screen, and it hits Matt Murray. Aston Reese trying to get it out of there, and here comes David Kampf over the line for Toronto. Leafs making a change. It's Acciari with it. Now Aston Reese, and he missed the target. Hall steps up. In the game against Florida, Toronto with only 5 shots from their bottom 5 forwards, and again 11-7 here tonight for Sheldon Keefe. Matthews has come on a lead feed for Hall, who plays it back behind the Carolina net. Jalen Chatfield up ahead, but that one hit somebody at the Carolina bench, and play is called. 7:07 gone, opening period, and a 5-on-3 power play goal for the Canes.
Let's go back to 1997.
As today, the Whalers announced officially that they will move at the end of this season after rejecting the state's offer to build a new arena.
March 25th, 1997, that was announced. The Hartford Whalers may be gone, but fortunately, since the introduction of the reverse retro jerseys, every once in a while we get to see those beautiful green and blue threads, guys.
Now they offered a free paid $147 million arena and turned it down. And I was just thinking during the anthems, Greg, there are blue and white sweaters here, but predominantly Carolina colors, and it's a full building, and it is a hockey town now. There's a shot through traffic right on goal, and up to 13 shots in this opening period for Carolina, 7.5 in. Here comes Mitch Marner, who's been red hot. Matthews gives it back, and that deflected just wide. Marner comes close. He's got goals in 4 straight. up into the high slot, and Järnkrok unable to do anything with that, and it's played out to center. Marner will try and step back in, and now we'll head to the bench on a change. Chatfield wraps it around. Out at center, Brody. There's Aho upended, and play continues. Fans react, but Graham Skilliter and Mitch Dunning do not. Here's Tavares, so maybe the lobbying.
Yeah, it does. It helps, I tell you. And just the way that 5-on-3 penalty went too was a little bit ticky-tack, and maybe you get away with one a little bit later, and it looked like they did there.
There's Achari. Comes on the heels of the first Leaf 5-on-3 opportunity of the year, Thursday in Florida. And they made that count on a goal by Michael Bunting. There's Achari. Worked it back to the line. Shot fronted by Teravainen, and now steered by Gostisbehere back into the Leaf zone. Approaching 9 minutes of this opening frame. Leafs won the first 2 meetings, 3-1 and 5-2. Here's Hall. Kerfoot, who bumped a slump in South Florida. Achari trying to get it back to him. That broke it up. They'll pile up along the end boards. Flicked loose. Kept in momentarily by Liljegren, but now the Canes are out, and it's rolled in by Swindon. And a big hit at the whistle as play stops.
Yeah, a little offside there, and the hit came afterwards. That's why. And Marner does a nice job of getting some speed in the middle, throws it to the outside. Just couldn't quite get all of that as the saucer pass landed down. And then Aho, there's the skate on skate. Aho expecting a call, doesn't get it. But a couple of good offensive zone shifts there by Sheldon Keefe's team to try to get some of that momentum back. And you're right about this building. You know, this has 25 years in the making of becoming a really good hockey city. And fans tailgating is probably the most amazing thing outside from it's the college mentality there. They were out in full force today.
And the outdoor game they hosted recently, one of the most successful ever. Here's Liljegren sending it ahead. Zach Aston Reese, who had a pair of goals in that previous win against the Hurricanes, out there along with Nylander, and now it's Carolina back through center. David Kampf up with that. Here comes Nylander over the line, and that shot is blocked by Slavin, who took a chop at him. Round to the far side, and it's McCabe. Aston Reese up high. Down behind the net, David Kampf trying to track it down. Played past McCabe and out, and red line it in for Puljujarvi.
So Nylander gets that extra shift with the fourth line with the 11 and 7. Get an opportunity to get some of your star guys a little bit extra ice time there early on.
Kochetkov out, lost it to Matthews. A centering pass, he had Järnkrok in front. It's back on Matthews' stick. Swung that shot on goal and steered away and flipped ahead, and here's Martin, a good take, and he flipped that high of the net. Didn't miss by much. Now Martin in front, and that pass looking for Foster. Jordan Staal! And it's 2-0 Canes.
So we've seen a flip pass by the Canes that created the first penalty of the game, and here's another one. Gives a little trouble. Fast just throws it to an area. Nice knockdown there to keep it alive by Martinook. And then coming off the bench and getting to the front of the net, Fast gets one opportunity, and then the bouncing puck right on the stick of Staal. You know, you stay out of traffic and then just pounce in. He kind of was going to go into the corner, but the puck took a bounce towards the net, and that one hopper ends up and over the glove of Matt Murray.
First in 12 games for Staal. A lot of Hurricanes have struggled offensively of late, but Staal ups the advantage here. Nylander getting a centering pass for Tavares. With the Leafs trying to return fire. Tavares off Kochetkov. Now played past Giordano and out. Hall speeds back to get it. Tavares trying to redirect that. He had 3 primary assists against the Panthers. Back to the attack here. As he works in against Pesce, a centering play just out of the reach of Nylander. And away goes Teravainen into the middle. Teravainen got it back, and a hot shot there by Aho. And Matt Murray, down by 2, has already made 14 stops, and we're not even 12 minutes in.
PNC Arena, and rightfully so. The Canes, the best chance to bring a championship back to North Carolina. No local college basketball teams left in the March Madness bracket. Another losing season for the Panthers. Raleigh loves hockey, and they love the Canes. A perfect example was on display at the outdoor game back in February. A sold-out stadium. These Canes fans know how to have fun, and they know how to throw a party, guys. What a night that was, and great atmosphere here tonight, guys.
We were smiling, talking to some of the arena folks here about the outdoor game, and we're a little concerned about how cold it was going to be.
That didn't look that cold,
no,
did it?
Not at all.
Oh, that was funny. It's all relative, isn't it?
Yep. We'll worry about the cold. Here's Achari. Down deep in Carolina ice. 8 minutes left here in the opening period. It's past Nason and rolls back down. And
no stick for Riley here. That's a tough play to make.
Crashed into the boards and able to ward off the checking of Stepan. Nason tried to jam it, and Kerfoot away with the puck. A pile up in the Leaf goal, and Achari working over the Hurricane, who's deep there, and that's Stefan Nason, who makes a living around the net. And they allow the play to continue.
Yeah, Murray, and he kind of got bowled over, and then when he was back in the net, there's a few shots by Achari over his head.
Now Marner gets it to Matthews. Shot blocked. It'll be kept in at the line by McCabe. Marner centers. Matthews. Kochetkov down. And finally a whistle as Kochetkov stops another Austin Matthews chance.
Well, all kinds of traffic at both ends in the crease area. And I mentioned the first time as Morgan Riley had no stick, so a really tough play to make and not take a penalty. He gets the takedown on Jarvis, but the play to the net there, no stick. He gets hit by Achari. He gets a little contact with Murray. Now Achari gets a couple of whacks in. Schenn comes in to pull him out. All the while the play's in the neutral zone and no whistle, and actually Carolina ended up getting it back into the zone after all that. Got back on side and kept the play going.
Wonder how many Leaf fans remember that Stefan Nason played for the Leaf for one game last year. Here's Martin steering it down. He takes a hit, but got it to Matthews. Brody up ahead. It slides past Yarncroke. Right on to Kochetkov. Had a little trouble with that. And able to steer it towards Jesper Fast. There's a big hit at center ice. Giordano stepping into Stahl. Martinook, who assisted on the Stahl goal along with Fast. And now Carolina making a change. Paul gets it to Nylander. Here's William Nylander in from long range, up high on Kochetkov.
It's a hockey night, so let's get it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and tap in with a live bet.
Well, tensions are rising on Canada's Ultimate Challenge as the last remaining teams push it to the limit. Thursday at 8 on CBC Stream 3 on CBC Gem. Shot 16-9 here in the opening frame. And Carolina's had an edge in the face-off circle, winning 12 of 6, but John Tavares prevails there. Leafs are number 3 in face-offs in the league. And the Hurricanes tied for 4th. Here's Tavares, tracked up top, but maintaining possession. A backhand weak and wide, centers again. And Bunting was tied up by Burns, and I think that's going to be a penalty on Brent Burns.
Yeah, it's really interesting watching these battles go on because before the last whistle, Bunting was all over Burns, and this was the following play coming up. And there was lots of discussion before the face-off. So what does Bunting do? Go to the tough area. You know you're going to be able to engage him. And then finally, it's the stick between the legs. The third time as the arm finally goes up. Nice job of Bunting kind of baiting Burns into that one. They had words after the last face-off. Bunting had words with the official, and after the 5-on-3 against, the power play will get a chance here for the Maple Leafs, thanks to the hard work and the annoyance of Bunting on Burns.
It's not an official game until Michael Bunting has a sequence like that. And so the Leafs get a power play, the second best power play in the league. Trying to cut this Carolina lead in half. Pass for Matthews, loose in front. Backhand stop. Tavares on the doorstep. Matthews reloads. Nylander, swing and a miss. Back it goes. Leafs have some activity here, and Tavares allowed to walk out in front, but Kochetkov looked sharp.
Boy, what a tough read for Tavares. You saw it's like he was expecting to get stopped there going around, but really good pressure in tight. There's the backhand. 2 whacks at it by Tavares. Kochetkov in a good position. Now Tavares is looking to pass. Nope. All of a sudden you get the lane and just couldn't get it high enough over the goaltender to find it in the back of the net.
Leafs regain possession off a scramble. Draw in front. Kochetkov again off Tavares on the doorstep. Back up top, Matthews. Nylander. Riley on the move through the slot. Here's Tavares looking for Marner on the near side. Now Nylander up high with Matthews. Riley returns to the point position. Can't find a shooting lane. Matthews. Now Marner trying to work his way in front. Holds on. Great work, and then into the skeets of Nylander. There's Nylander back to Riley. 50 seconds remaining as Marner takes another look. Down low off Tavares and ricocheted right to Kochetkov.
Boy, what a shift for Tavares on this power play. And sometimes you just get in so tight. Good battle for the faceoff. The Leafs lose it, but they win the loss and keep it alive. And Tavares just finds himself where, again, in so tight, unable to get it up into that top third of the net. And then this one off his foot, it almost found a way by, but good job of smothering that one to get the change and get the faceoff. Important face-off win here for Järnkrok, trying to keep the power play alive.
5 shots on the power play so far. This is just the third power play in 3 games for Toronto against Carolina.
Interesting, Sheldon Keefe keeping the majority of it out there, though. Matthews, Marner, and Riley stay on. Bunting gets to come out and probably be a factor in front of the net.
So under a half minute remaining as Matthews slingshots it back to Marner. He'll work his way in. Slalom back into the slot. Backhand Bunting. And there's Teravainen. Unable to get loose, but it's flipped high on the backhand all the way down the ice. And I think Murray took a while to find that.
Yeah, that was a difficult one. Almost hit the clock, it looked like, just underneath.
Crowd tells you Burns is back. 6 shots for the Leafs on that power play. Here's Jack Drury in. And that shot by Puljujarvi missed the target. And now it's flipped past Shea. Back into the Carolina zone by Järnkrok. A lead feed here, and that'll be flipped in by Stepan. Liljegren around. And chopped out by Acciari. Is going to be enough for icing? No. Chatfield around. Kicked in by Giordano, and now played to the Leaf line where Aston Reese comes back to recover. Gostisbehere breaks up that pass.
One thing you notice, the Canes D, they really try to close the gap in the neutral zone. That was a great example there. Gostisbehere, the lead forward, thought he'd have some time. The D-man right up next to him and turning it back the other way.
That first goal is so important for Carolina this season. They've won 35 when scoring the first goal. Coming into the game, only Boston with more wins. They had 36. Not sure if they scored first today, but they won again with a 2-1 victory over Tampa Bay. Well, the Leafs had their looks on that power play. 6 shots, and Michael Bunting had one of them.
First 5 years as a head coach, 5 straight playoff runs, and here's the division leaders across the National Hockey League, and right there the Carolina Hurricanes have dominated as well. That's how long they've spent in back-to-back 100-point seasons for the Carolina Hurricanes under Rod Brind'Amour, and the only time that that's happened in Carolina history, and the only other time they got 100 here, well, 05-06 when he was the captain, and they won the Stanley Cup.
There's a slick move by McCabe to the net. Rebound! That one hit the defenseman in front. Lafferty looked like he had an open net. Alex Kerfoot back in his own zone. TJ Brodie across. Very quiet it goes, and here it's Lafferty in again. On that right flank to the far side. Back towards Lafferty. Picked up by Kerfoot. Tried to feed it up high, and Kotkaniemi was there. Well, they have led for an extended period of time, but still trying to fight off New Jersey. 2 points back, although Carolina with 2 games in hand, the Rangers within 4. But just played back-to-back against Carolina. The 2 teams split those 2 games. Here's a centering pass, and that broken up with Jarnkrok driving the net. Martinook will send it in. The former Ranger Bost skipped over the stick of Stahl. Back to the line where Slavin sends it behind the net. And Schenn takes it away from Stahl. Up ahead for Marner. Now Jarnkrok inside the line.
How about the battle back for the Leafs here? The shots are now 16-16. They were so heavily skewed with the early power plays for Carolina. The Leafs have been able to bounce back. And I like this from Jake McCabe. You don't necessarily think off of a face-off in the neutral zone that a D-man is just going to be aggressive. He comes from his off wing and the D and jumps right in there, tries to go 5-hole. Kind of surprised. There's another example of being aggressive at the line by the D for Carolina, and McCabe takes advantage of it and very nearly scores.
Looked like Chatfield may have saved the goal for Carolina.
1 minute
for
remaining in the
Tara
period.
Vinen at center. Final minute in the opening period here. And Tavares will work it back. Carolina has allowed the fewest first period goals this season. Tavares trying to put a dent in that total out there along with Nylander in the final half minute or so. Up at center, and Nylander kicked that loose. But Bunting unable to get across the line, turned back by Shea. Here's Necas. And he'll be turned back by Kemp. Lead feed up for Aho doesn't work. With the clock draining here in the opening period. Liljegren's pass broken up, and that will do it. Done one here in Raleigh tonight. And yes, the shots end up even at 16 apiece. Burns with a 5-on-3 goal. Jordan Stahl adding to Carolina's total. A 2-0 Hurricane lead through 20 minutes. Our first intermission with Rod McLean coming up.
Kelly Rudy both have played in best on best, and Kevin to a point, world championships, although some of the guys were busy
This
with
is
the Stanley
best
Cup.
on best.
Yes,
right
it
here.
is. And because of that, because you're so good at this, you get, of the 4 games, 3 are tied. Toronto's trailing 2-0 to Carolina. You get to pick one. What would you say was the highlight of the first 20 minutes somewhere?
And Toronto game?
No, you got Brady Tkachuk.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So you're leading me, right? And I did not catch it.
I wanted you to have
so
that
I couldn't play on
surprise.
the baseball best on best, clearly, because I can't catch. But Brady Tkachuk has been up to his old tricks, and he's trying to will his team right now into a playoff spot, and they basically have to run the table to get there. And this was the goal there, the beautiful shot. And how many times have we seen this? Being physical, right in front of his own bench. He tries to get tossed over, and I think out of necessity, he kind of tries to lock his leg around there. He got a minor for that one, but he's one assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick. He gets a fight here against Miles Wood, who's another tough guy. And these are spirited fights. And when I look at Brady after, I just think he enjoys the way he plays. I don't think he's doing it for any other reason other than this is who he is. That's what's ingrained in him. He's got one Gordie Howe this year, and he's an assist away from a second. There's only 10 in the whole league this year. Brother Matthew also has one.
Kevin, Connor McDavid, the other night, 60th goal, his intensity in the overtime. And
But
even
no
earlier,
fight or assist.
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you want him?
Hard to impress.
He's in his own world,
Right,
and he's
yes.
also coming into his own voice over and over again. And here's an example when he talks about the idea of a World Cup of hockey.
I thought it was really cool. It's what we've been asking for in hockey for a long time, right? It was best on best, and look, everyone's talking about baseball, and did you see Ohtani versus Trout, and that's what hockey's been missing for almost a decade now.
So Jennifer, why don't you start us off on this one?
Well, first of all, I do think it's great to see him expressing his opinion and how strongly he feels about that. I think we're seeing more and more personality from Connor McDavid. But it is, I think that's what we're all craving, is to see best on best and how important those moments can be. If I think about Olympic Games, even the example in 2010, my last Olympic Games, and it was, watching the men's game a few days after ours, and people coast to coast to coast that come together in countries. And there's been a lot of discussion on how do we grow the game of hockey? And I feel like it's an opportunity when you have best on best to grow the game globally. And if you look at the mention from McDavid to the World Baseball Classic, on those moments and what it can do for a country or a continent. I mean, do you guys see the broadcast from the Japanese broadcast? Well, have a look at the energy, right, that they showed from the Japanese broadcast from this final
Oh, you're
pitch.
directing the show, John. That's my move.
The energy there, I mean, that's what unifies people and helps them to fall in love with the game.
Well, that's called producing, but you're close. But anyway, so the way I look at it is that it's great to grow the game globally, and that we're all doing it, but it's how all these international events change how the game is played. And I go back in my time, when you look at the Summit Series in '72 and also the Canada Cup's early days, when the Soviets taught us a different way to play and about puck possession, which happens to be a big part of the NHL today. You think of the Czechs and how Dominik Hasek changed the position of goal. You think of the U.S., 80 Olympic Games, and then they win the World Cup in 1996 because all those kids knew about the Olympic Games in 1980. So that's how I think the game of hockey gets better, because the product on the ice is a lot better.
And it's fun. And it's legacy-defining moments, I think. You think about how great Gretzky and Lemieux were in their NHL careers. Well, I think 87 Canada Cup, Gretzky down the wing, drops with Lemieux, top glove hand on the Russians. And then you think of Crosby. Yeah, he's got 3 Stanley Cups. Big deal, right, Jen? But he's got the golden goal. He's got 2 Olympic gold medals. And it's special, like playing for your country. I haven't played best on best, but I played for my country. It's something special because now you're not representing a small fan base or a city. You're representing an entire nation. And it's just special to be playing for that. It just feels like it's heightened and there's something more to it. And it brings out the best in everybody.
Marty Walsh will meet with the media on Thursday, and he'll get this question. Elliot's promised he'll ask it. You keep hearing, well, if Russia can't participate because of the invasion of Ukraine, can't have a World Cup. And does anybody on this panel think we care if Russia?
Seems like a Russia
They don't
problem.
need to be there.
No,
it's
a Russia problem.
No, it's still great hockey, and everybody will love it.
I know the federations will have, deals and such that complicate matters, but still, proceed in 2025. The next year, that's the reason there is none next year, and COVID, of course, interfered prior to that.
It's just been too long, and it has to be our priority by the NHL and the NHLPA to get this done. It's a shame that McDavid and McKinnon haven't played, and Matthews haven't played international hockey against each other.
Okay, let's enjoy last night. Ken Johnson, Port Moody, BC, University of Michigan. Just an incredible move there. And then, of course, he follows it with the Michigan. And what was so stunning about that 27 years to the date that the move was invented by Michael Legg of London, Ontario. He did it for University of Michigan, hence it's called the Michigan. And there's only one other person. I mean, Crosby's done it, but this is the best. Who's this, Jen?
My daughter, Maya. That was her on the ice.
That's
just
amazing.
this week.
And everybody at your academy, Kevin, and on and on. Yeah, congrats, Kent. Islanders had no business in that game. Columbus Blue Jackets were tremendous, and that play in particular stood out. Okay, we're going down a Wolverine hole, but rather than that, why don't you do this? Deception is reality. Kiefer Sutherland stars in Rabbit Hole. New series streaming March 26th exclusively on Paramount+.
You need to know.
This is the Big Board presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We got heavy red light vibes tonight. This is your live update. Brent Burns scores his 13th goal and extends his franchise-leading 54th point as a defenseman. 2-0 for Carolina. 6.5 total goals is the line right now. And then the Stars are trying to win their first Central Division title since 2016. Jason Spezza scored 33 that year. Live total in Big D is 6.5 goals, excuse me. And then both Brady Tkachuk and Jack Hughes have scored 3 goals in their last 2 games. The live total in New Jersey is 6.5, and they're putting on a show at the Bell Center. 8.5 is the total. Maybe they're putting on a show for Carey Price, not sure. But you can live bet on goal scores, next goals, game totals, all on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that QR code to download it, and we remind you to play at your own pace. Back to you, Ron.
Abby, Jack Hughes' 40th goal of the season. Top marksman among the 10 different goal scorers in 4 games. We'll get you to the second periods on Hockey Night in Canada coming up next.
Whereas we get you set for the second period, the Leafs trailing the Canes 2-0, and somewhere out there, President Joe Biden is happy.
I have to say, I like your teams except the Leafs.
That is just one of the many funny presidential hockey interactions we've seen.
We are here to celebrate an extraordinary achievement. Phil Kessel is a Stanley Cup champion.
And we see Mario Lemieux front and center with the Penguins there. He was also at the White House in 1991 where he met George Bush. Apparently George Bush said, "And you are?" Mario said, "Mario Lemieux." I kind of had a feeling, said the president. Not the first, not the last funny presidential moment we will see involving hockey players. Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson with the call of the second period, guys.
Yeah, it was good stuff, except I believe every Canadian franchise has beaten the Flyers this year. Oh, we get set for the second period. Shots even at 16 apiece. The shot attempts 26-25. So the Leafs kind of weathered the storm, at least shot-wise. And well, let's see if the second period they can cut into this 2-0 Carolina lead. Here's Matthews off the boards, and he wired that just wide. And a close call there for Matthews.
Matthews off quickly. He kind of got twisted around off the opening draw, but man, he showed great ability with the spin around there to create a scoring chance after.
So he has 4 two-goal games this year. He has yet to follow up a multi-goal game with a goal in the next game. As the Leafs break out of their own zone, here's Nylander with Tavares. John Tavares had a lane, now fires, 6 shot on goal, and a rebound just knocked away from him. Tavares leads everybody with 6 shots already in the game. Nylander's got it. Here's Bunting, a backhand wide of the net. It'll scoop around to the point, and McCabe sends it back in deep. Tavares looking for his first in 7, and
that should be a penalty here as Burns just chopped it at it. They're having a discussion. Here's Austin Matthews off the opening face-off. Oh yeah, he got hit again. Boy, he got hit with a puck there last game. That
Carolina
was a skate.
delay game.
And then a nice little spin around shot. Got it a little too high after that, and he went quickly to the bench. That was about a 20-second shift, but he's out here as Burns. I thought it was Burns, but it's Pesce who's going to get the call. Did they get the wrong guy?
Let's have another look.
Oh no, it was Pesce right there.
Yep. Burns was handling the defense arguments for the Carolina case.
Well, it's good. All 4 officials took their time and talked about what they each saw, and so the right call was made.
The Leafs back to their second power play. 6 shots on the first, and there's Burns able to scoop it away. Mentioned Matthews following up after 2-goal games last year. 7 times he scored in a game following a multi-goal game, and once had back-to-back 2-goal games. Of course, he scored 60 that year. Marner and Matthews back in. Matthews up with it. Back to Riley. Morgan Riley looked to get it back through the seam. Slavin disrupting Matthews, and Carolina gets a clear.
You know, Morgan Riley really forced that one through a couple of sticks, and that's why the saucer pass didn't quite land quickly. And that's a battle trying to win that puck in the corner against Slavin and Burns.
Shots are 12-1 Toronto since the stall goal put the Hurricanes up by 2. That puck kept in at the line. Now Marner had it knocked off his stick. Good defensive play by Shea. And the Leafs retreat. Timothy Liljegren comes on in a power play role. Matthews to work again. Left side Bunting. Matthews going to the net. The pass went to Marner. Now to Bunting right on with Matthews on the doorstep. Played past Nylander, but Bunting holds his own. Final 30 seconds left in this second Toronto power play. Good work by Bunting, but now Stahl able to chop it away from Liljegren and out.
That's one thing about the Hurricanes penalty kill, second best in the league. They really pressure you hard there. That time it was Drury just not allowing Bunting any time to make a play and find an open man.
They've killed 38 of their last 40. Järnkrok goes to the front of the net. Giordano across. Here's the shot and a rebound swept away by Brent Burns as Pesce returns. Leafs 0 for 2. Get 2 shots on Kochetkov on that second power play. Lead feed to Chari on the move. Aston Reese. Here's Aston Reese swooping in on the backhand. Drury lost it. Up with it at Chari. Aston Reese side of the net. And threw it through the blue paint, and that'll get cleared away to center. Leafs trying to follow up after some power play momentum, and here is Camp off the boards. Aston Reese bumps Burns. Another hit on the forecheck. Leafs held it in momentarily, and now sent out by Stepan. Here comes McCabe again. He's looked dangerous tonight, and another shot on goal. Hurricanes are out onto the right side. Puljujärvi's pass hit a skate. The Leafs will turn it. May have had a odd man rush. Matthews bolting in and unable to get a shot away. Marner in to help out. Dug it out. The centering pass hit Puljujärvi. It'll come back to Marner again. For Matthews, a backhand. And a rebound knocked away from Marner. Matthews all around it, and now it's Järnkrok. Tavares goes to the front of the net. Morgan Riley back to Kelly. Järnkrok scores! Järnkrok fires another one home, and the Leafs are on the board.
Well, Austin Matthews talking about Järnkrok and his release, just said he's a guy that's not afraid to shoot the puck when the chance is there, and there's a great example of it. Matthews had just made the change, kept the puck in the zone. Look at the open ice there with all the traffic in front, and that's just a perfectly placed shot. Goaltender didn't really see it. He's got his head up the whole way, and the quick wrister goes by the defenseman. Get it out of the shooting lane, and a great vantage point on the bench there. As they said, Matthews had a couple of quick close calls on that shift before. Järnkrok stayed out a little longer, and he gets the Leafs back on the board.
You see 6 and 11. He had a pair of goals last Saturday, and it's a new career high of 18 and 36 points for Calle Järnkrok.
And what you're starting to see is some chemistry, and that's what Sheldon Keefe has been looking for. Remember how long Kerfoot was in that role, up and down, and Kerfoot had trouble putting the puck in the net. And I think this last time that he got placed up with Marner and Matthews, Järnkrok said, hey, I'm not going to let you take me back down. And he's had his best stretch, and it looks like that trio is starting to really connect together.
6th straight game for Järnkrok, riding shotgun with Austin Matthews. Michael Bunting off that top line now for the last 10 as he weaves his way through and springs Nylander in and unable to get that shot away cleanly. Pretty good defensive play by Pesce, but the Leafs on it again. Here's Tavares swiveling it off Necas wide of the net, but Leafs are pounding the puck. Great work by Nylander behind the net. Up top, it was intended for Tavares. Giordano feeds it back through, and now Justin Hall activates. He's in deep. Leafs trying to apply the pressure here in the second period, and that blast by Achari missed the target. Riley stepped up.
He got slashed by Aho there. You could hear him yell as he got hit in the hand, and no call, so he backed right up as they're going back the other way.
Hurricanes have got over 14 minutes without a shot. The shot's now 23-16 Toronto. So that's 18 of the last 19 shots for the Leafs, and a chance there, and Lafferty unable to get that in front. Here's Lafferty up with it again. He had Achari all alone in front of the Carolina net. Back to the line, kept in by McCabe. Up into the air and clubbed down by Lafferty. Nason there for Carolina. Kotkaniemi swings it to the Leaf line. Out at center ice, Kerfoot. Now Brody sends it in from center. Marner back out there. He stumbles in the Carolina zone, and it's flipped back into Toronto ice. McCabe around all the way to Matthews at the Carolina line, unable to take it cleanly. Now played in, and here's Stahl, who goes the difference. Back to the line. Slavin's moved in. Lady Byng Trophy winner 2 years ago. Foss will give it back to Slavin. Burns, who's also scored in the game. That shot got through, and that'll end the shot drought for Carolina. But the momentum has shifted in this one. And a great look at Calle Järnkrok beating Kochetkov to get Toronto on the board.
Sports Interaction. We're at the heartbeat of the sports scene. Bet live and get in the game with Sports Interaction.
Looking for a streaming channel that goes beyond the news? CBC News Explorer is a news channel for stories that need to be explored. Stream free on CBC Gem. Leafs had 17 consecutive shots, and then Carolina gets its first in 15 minutes and 40 seconds. They continue to lead. Gostisbehere's shot sailed high. Camp up the boards. Mark Giordano at center. That pass cut off by Chatfield, but Kerfoot follows it up to get it deep. Kochetkov playing that pass, Camp. And now the Canes will roll it back into the Toronto zone. That early 5-on-3, just the Leafs were off balance early, but have recovered.
Well, the one thing they're really comfortable with this season is just not panicking when they get down. They've got the second most comeback wins in the National Hockey League at 22. New Jersey's the only one with more at 23. And when they trail after the first, their record's 12-5-3. So they're comfortable in this position, and I think it was key. They got back on their heels with the early power plays in the 5-on-3 against, and now they've got their toes pointed forward, and they've been the one putting the pressure, as you said, with the shot clock specifically.
Morgan Riley, the assist on Järnkrok's goal. Here's Burns. Look for a tip. Michael Bunting back. Willigood looking for Nylander. That doesn't work. Here's Necas. Nylander tried to feed up the boards. Teravainen's there. Teravainen, a game-winning goal as Carolina came back with a third period splurge at MSG. 3 goals late in that game to beat the Rangers 3-2. They just tried to redirect that pass towards Teravainen, and Riley will take over. Trying to get it to Matthews, but that didn't work. Riley behind the net. Now Bunting. Matthews on the move. Here's Matthews' shot, and that hit the shin pads of Pesce, kept in by Bunting. And it's Marner off the boards, sliding it through to Matthews. Back to the line for Brody. Leafs on the cycle in Carolina territory. The shot off target, but they get it back. Matthews and a fan on that pass for Järnkrok. Sebastian Aho will lift it out to center. Back in they come. Järnkrok in front. Matthews, big glove stop. Kochetkov robbing Austin Matthews.
Well, you saw the time on the ice by the Hurricanes. You had a tired group and an opportunity to maybe take advantage, and going right to the net was Matthews, but he got in so tight. I tried to get it up and over, but at that angle there wasn't much left to do. But good positioning there by Kochetkov. He had the glove up, closed the gap, and able to hold on to get his team a much needed change.
Early on, Kochetkov was 8-0-1, at least a stretch in a 9-game period back November, December, but when he was recalled, he hasn't been a sharp 1-5-1, but been a different story tonight, hasn't it?
He has. This is just his 4th game back.
3 different Carolina goaltenders with double-digit wins and an icing call against Carolina. Well, Järnkrok scores, and that means since New Year's Day, the exact same number of goals for the core 4 and the rest of the team. Is that a good thing? How do you interpret that in any way?
Well, you know, if Matthews was having a 60-goal year, you might have 10 more in that 60 for the core 4, but it's the balance that you are looking for. And so much has been made of Sheldon Keefe shuffling the deck a little bit, changing lines around, and if you can get some of the production from other guys, I think it bodes well. Look at the matchup you're going to have. Tampa Bay, the big goals that they've got from their 3rd and 4th line last year in the playoffs, and it's always a factor.
Here's Matthews in front. Down is Kochetkov, and Matthews thwarted again. He's had 6 shots in the game now, and hasn't been able to find a way to beat Kochetkov tonight.
Well, another example of in so tight. We've seen it 3 times with Tavares in the first period, and now Matthews tried to fake the shot and open up the legs of Kochetkov, but I think the fact that when he faked the shot, the goaltender was kind of off balance. Like, that's not a technique. I think he tripped, and that trip for the goaltender might have actually helped him.
Well, the Leafs have come close, swept away by McCabe with Jordan Staal in the vicinity. Marner flips the pass in. That'll be knocked down by Shea. Hartnett rink wide. Here comes Chatfield. Chatfield across. Staal, and didn't get a lot of that, and it's gloved down by an attacking Matt Murray.
Yeah, he didn't get everything, but at times that can be deceiving for the goaltender. You're expecting a one-timer to come flying in. Martinook just got a stick maybe in the way, and that one was going to be Hyde, but Staal, yeah, the puck just started to waffle a little bit, but key play for Murray there is stop the play and get a change, and Achari out to take the face-off against Kotkaniemi.
Career goal 275 for Staal in this game. From the draw, Nason, a one-hand pass. Jarvis checked, and Giordano up with it. Short pass, and the Leafs are able to clear. Lafferty out with Achari and Kerfoot. Back in comes Carolina. Pass shoveled across, and Kerfoot back defensively. Here's Hall to Giordano. 9.5 left here in the second. And now a message from Paramount Plus.
Trust is a dangerous game.
How about Mark Giordano? Talk about the influence he's had. He's only been minus in 4 of the last 31 games coming into tonight's game, and just continues to play a key role and heat up some good minutes throughout this season. What a pickup he has been.
Plus 26 on the year. Matthews leads at plus 31 now. At least coming into the game. There's Achari on it, up ahead for Kerfoot. And then ends up in the Carolina bench. So we'll step aside. Shots now 25-18 Toronto, but a 1-goal Carolina lead.
Realistically, but one question for both of them is who will be their guy that will run with things in the playoffs? For the Canes, their goaltending hasn't been spectacular this season as far as save percentage goes, but it doesn't really matter when you're as defensively sound, because every single one of their goalies, all 3 that have gotten significant starts this season, have good winning records. When you give up the second fewest goals against in the NHL, life is pretty easy for these 3 guys.
What's the old adage? I don't think it applies here, but if you've got 3, do you have 1? But
yeah. Well, and again, Anderson missed 29 games with an injury. Again, much like getting injured at the end of last year and changing the rotation come playoff time. It will be interesting to see what Rod Brind'Amour goes with.
And you hear rumblings that people think they might be leaning towards Kochetkov, but you would think the guy with 19 wins and the veteran status would have to get the first look, but to be determined.
Yeah, how about the guy at the other end? I mean, Murray got the 2 goals in the first period, but hasn't been all that busy since. But he's looking to get on a little run here as well. A good comeback in the Florida game to break that string of 4 goals against, and he's looked solid.
Terrific last Saturday against Ottawa on a very busy night, and certainly has enhanced his stock. Here's Aho working his way into the net and not able to get that shot on. And back the other way, Nylander with Tavares. Bunting's on the move over the line, and Burns able to snuff out that attack. And here's Aho working in behind. And a big shot there by Necas that scorches the shoulder of Murray. Tavares lost it along the boards. Aho there as Necas took it away, and then got separated from the puck by Riley. Bunting back to help out Necas off the back of the net. Teravainen trying to cycle it back, and now Necas on it again. Checked by Bunting. And away goes Riley. Nylander's on this off wing. Try to get it back into the slot. Chance here, Matthews scores! Austin Matthews back-to-back games, and this game is tied.
Well, you see the face of Sebastian Aho. He had the great chance that unable to connect at the other end, and then Matthews. You know, guys coming off the bench so often are left alone. It's so hard for the defenders focusing on the play. In with a bouncing puck turned over is Matthews right down center ice there, and he just with the quick release, there's his reaction. You know, nothing better. You got control the bouncing puck, get it in the wheelhouse, and a little bit of a flyby by Nylander, enough of a distraction as he ties this game.
So 9 goals in his last 13. In a month stretch starting in March 5th a year ago, he went 21 in 16 games, heating up with the same time of the year this season. And here he is again. Sharp angle shot stopped by Kochetkov. Matthews has it, comes out in front, trying to stop that, and the pads get squeezed, and Austin Matthews is all over it tonight.
Yeah, he's got a nose for a net, doesn't he? And the one thing is, here's the change at the top as Tavares goes off, and you just stay out of the traffic. You don't have to get into the area too quickly, and There's a release that not too many have. Here's the good battle behind the net, and he almost slides that one. You can see Kochetkov's stick didn't quite get down quick enough. The puck went between the pads, but he was able to hold on and not able to Matthews to slide that one through.
So the Leafs erase a 2-goal deficit. Hurricanes scoring 5-on-3 early and had a 2-0 lead before the 11-minute mark of this game. The Leafs get even, and now Camp gets worked over. He gets knocked down. Sat on the puck momentarily, and Pesce around the far side. And Kerfoot's there, sent it toward the net. Off the shaft of the stick of Acciari. Bouncing puck, and Liljegren able to team that and play it to Riley. Leafs back in. Here's Kerfoot trying to flip it towards Tavares. Pesce breaks that up, and it's rolled to the Leaf line. Now back in comes Bunting. Here's Michael Bunting, and the shot deflects off a Hurricane stick, and Pesce able to disrupt that and flip it away. Here comes the Hurricanes. Murray with a stop there. Traffic around him again as Nason again was in the Leaf goal crease. Out at center, it's Bunting. Not giving him an assist on that last goal yet. The Matthews goal unassisted for the time being. Comes back to McCabe. Nylander trying to swing away from Burns. Here's William Nylander swooping in, turning back, tried to center. Kochetkov able to prevent that. Right back on Nylander's stick. He'll cycle it down. Burns is there to the line, and that puck comes out. The Leafs winning just about every race now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, those goals go right to your legs, don't they?
Under 5 to go. Here's Marner's fun, and he backhanded that just off target. With a highlight reel awaiting. Austin Matthews again, and he rolled that through, trying to hook up with Yarncroke. It'll come back to Riley. Now it's Marner in front. Big stop, glove save off Yarncroke by Kochetkov. And he's the only reason the Leafs are not leading here. Up to 28-20 the shots after that early huge Carolina advantage. Luke Schenn for Kerfoot. Alex Kerfoot trying to move down that left flank, slowed up by Martinook. Now Schenn. Up ahead, knocked off the stick of Lafferty. Schenn back to retrieve it, and a delayed offside will halt play.
Well, that top line getting its mojo as they get right back into the game. A little spin around backhand, just got a piece of it as that had a chance up top in tight. Yarncroke looking for his second, denied. All year, the puck hasn't gone in like it did last year for him, but man, he's looking a lot like the guy who scored 60 in the back-to-back Richard winner. It's 3 goals in his last couple of games here. Very much like you're accustomed to see. The quick release, getting the puck exactly where he wants, good jump. And 35 goals now, and Chris, I don't think with 10 more games to go, you gotta figure he's in a position to get to his 5th 40-goal season in his first 7.
One off the team lead held by Nylander. Here comes Liljegren. That kicked away. We should mention they credited Matthews with 11 shots. He's 1 away from a career high. Said 8 shots in a game 5 times this year, but in the double digits for the first time.
So many of them have been around the net too. There's been a lot of in tight on the goaltender, which are not that easy to maneuver around.
Well, set in the heart of rural Ontario comes a story of family, grief, and connection based on the award-winning graphic novel Essex County. New episode Sunday at 9:30 in Newfoundland on CBC and CBC Gem. Rod Brind'Amour trying to figure out how to swing the momentum here. The shots, the Leafs on a 25-4 run as they have answered 2 early Carolina goals with 2 of their own. We should mention Mitch Marner has been given an assist on the first goal, so Marner now with a 9-game point streak 93 points. He's 7 away from his first century. TJ Brodie to Marner. That pass looking for Matthews, kept in by Stahl. Matthews comes back, takes a bump along the boards, and now the Hurricanes start to change. Järnkrok's gone off, and it'll roll down. An icing call against the Leafs.
Well, one of the few chances in this period the Canes create an icing, get an opportunity to maybe get a matchup that they want. Aho's line comes out. You've got Matthews, who's been out there just 50 seconds, so he's taking as long as he can to get to the face-off dot, but Tavares just got out there, and he'll be the one who tries to win it.
And does. Hurricanes had 166% of the draws until that. Back inside the line, and Matthews back to get it. Surrounded by 3 Hurricanes. Necas, Aho, and he blasted that wide, and it ricochets past Slavin and all the way back into the Keen zone.
That's a big miss, isn't it? Because it allows the Leaf players to get the change with the missed shot going all the way around.
Aho reverse that towards Necas. He's tied up. Justin Hall's in your living room.
Keep playing. Keep playing. Let's go. Keep playing. It's loose.
Keep playing is the message.
Keep playing.
Apparently it's loose.
Good job. Good job.
And now it does come loose. Well, maybe not.
Keep battling, man. Keep battling. Let's go.
Welcome to Rugby Night in Canada. And finally, the Leafs dig it out and get it out. Ball back, delayed offside, 90 seconds remaining here in the second. Giordano and Hall exchanging passes. Jarvis trying to impact the breakout. Now it's rolled in, and Nola Chari goes after it. Slavin for Burns. Flip to the Leaf fly. Morgan Riley back to Achari. Lafferty on the move. Couldn't get him the puck, but got it back, and then had that shot disrupted by Nason. Final minute, second period. And Riley's pass doesn't click. That's icing against Toronto. Well, in order to move forward, one man must travel back in time to fix his pass. Check out the thrilling new drama series Plan B. New episode Monday at 9:30 in Newfoundland on CBC and CBC Jam. From the draw, Carolina gets it, and a shot right on. Problem for Murray there, Kerfoot. Shen, and now Riley to the attack. Turning around for Kerfoot. Lafferty playing it back into the corner for Kerfoot. And it's stolen by Matthews. Wraparound jam play. Well, they had just taken one shot away from Matthews, but I suspect he'll get credit for his 11th right back on that play.
Yeah, the puck's been following him around, and when it's not close to him, he's finding a way to get in and dig on it. He gets into the feet of Brady Shea, gets the quick little spin around again. You saw him from the other side try to go 5-hole this time. He tries to bring it out a little bit more, but better positioning there by Kochetkov to close the pads together and get the stick in front to make the save.
Calle Järnkrok in the late stages of this second period. Out at center for Brodie. Up to Marner, tried to kick that to Järnkrok, and it just failed to work. Stahl will stride after it in Toronto territory, and that'll do it. It was a big second period for the Leafs. 2 for Carolina in the first, 2 for Toronto in the second. Järnkrok and Matthews, the goal scorers. Coming up in our second intermission, 32 Thoughts, and Ron MacLean with a special interview with Brian Burke. 2-2 after 2 in Carolina.
all in comeback form. Welcome to 32 Thoughts presented by GMC and the new Sierra AT4X with Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman. And Elliot, let's begin with Montreal and Calgary possible signing news.
Yes, Canadians fans are wondering about Sean Farrell, a defenseman from Harvard. They were knocked out of the NCAA tournament yesterday. Nothing official yet, no confirmation at this time, but we're hearing that Farrell is strongly considering turning pro and joining the Canadians, but nothing official at this time. Also with the Flames, Matthew Coronato, he was their first-round pick, 13th overall in 2021. The full court press is on from the Flames. They have indicated very clearly that they want Coronato to join them. There still has to be a bit more conversation. The player has to make his choice, but there is no doubt the Flames have let Coronato know that they are ready for him to come.
And Elliot and Ron, speaking of players signing, some overagers around the CHL that we're very much keeping our eyes on. We'll start west and then go east. Saskatoon Blades defenseman Aiden Delagorgendiere, defenseman who last night tied the Blades record for all-time points by a defenseman with 155. He ties Wendell Clark, by the way, for that record. Yes, Wendell was a defenseman in junior, 65 points in 65 games. Logan Dohanyuk as well from the Moose Jaw Warriors, a Métis defenseman, plays with an edge, went to Arizona camp last year. Evan Vierling was once upon a time a draft pick of the New York Rangers, didn't sign, tearing up the OHL, 95 points for the Barrie Colts. Went to Columbus camp last season. They almost signed him. He'll get picked off this year for sure. And from Cape Breton Eagles, Ivan from Ostrava, Czech Republic, 90 points in 64 games, 6 teams chasing him. And Detroit Red Wings invited him to camp last year. And one other CHL note, expect an announcement on the Memorial Cup. 4 teams bidding: Kingston, Niagara, Saginaw, and Sault Ste. Marie. That announcement should come this upcoming week.
Ottawa bids, Elliot.
Yes, so there was some talk initially I'd heard from some of the groups that they thought maybe first week of April the second round bids would be due. I think that's premature. I think it might get pushed back a bit, but that's, I don't think a big concern. I don't think timelines have shown that they are incredibly important here. Some of the bid groups visited this week. Some more of them will go over the next week or two to see some games while the Senators are playing at home. But one thing, Ron, that I have been told is that some of the groups who were a bit lower on their initial non-binding bids are well aware that they have to get up to a higher number.
Hockey Canada, a couple of major announcements coming up this week. The big one, Gina Kingsbury jumps up and she will now become, Gina Kingsbury, as we all know, jump-started once again the women's program. She will be announced as the VP of Hockey Operations. That is the second most senior staff position in hockey operations. Sounds like she's going to do one more Olympic cycle with the women, and then she'll be part of the leadership group that will lead the women, the men, and the para national teams. And Maren Hickox will be named the first VP for women and girls hockey. That will focus on grassroots initiatives. Ron.
Jeff Merrick, Elliot Friedman, excellent men, saving a little time for our special guest here this evening. I want to give a shout out to the Kids for Kids tournament happening in Kingston, Ontario. It's 198 teams. It's the largest Eastern Ontario House League hockey tournament. Proceeds from the event go to the Boys and Girls Club in Kingston and the Pediatric Unit at Kingston Health Sciences. Among the pros helping out, Ricky Smith, Jay McClement, John Tripp, Fred O'Donnell. Thank you all. Iqaluit, the Blizzard came 2,200 kilometers for the tournament, so Iqaluit, good job there.
Great logo.
Brian Burke is our special guest when Hockey Night in Canada returns in a moment. Second intermission this evening in Edmonton. Our Vegas Oilers game is the annual Pride game for the Edmonton Oilers. Joining us now is the president of hockey ops for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Brian Burke. And Brian, from Ivan Provorov in January on through the stalls the other night, you've had 4 individual choices, 3 team directives, and I'd just like to open the floor to you to have you say what you've been reflecting on and thinking about with respect to the Pride games in the NHL.
Well, thanks, Ron. It's an important discussion, and I really appreciate the chance to talk about it. To our friends in the LGBTQ plus community, don't be discouraged. We've had a couple of minor setbacks from a tiny number of players. We've made steady and spectacular progress in this space. 32 teams will have held by the end of the season a Pride Night. So even the teams here where we had some dissenters, the teams still held Pride Night. It's still important. It's a very important part of what we do at the NHL, big part of Fenway Sports Group here in Pittsburgh. So don't get discouraged. We're doing a great job.
Well, let's start with the team approaches, Brian. Do you like where a team like, say, San Jose goes and with James Reimer make a decision that the rest of the players will wear it? Florida Panthers, same thing. And we can get into the specifics of why there were team directors from the Rangers, the Hawks, and the Minnesota Wild. But what would your recommendation be in terms of a team approach?
Well, from my perspective, first off, there's two areas where it's been a matter of dissension, or that we're not going to wear the sweater. One is for Russian-born players, and the other is for religious reasons. And with the religious reasons, it just doesn't compute for me. I was born and raised a Catholic. I don't see any conflict between my religious beliefs and the ability to say to the LGBTQ plus community, you're welcome here. That's all Pride Night is you're welcome in our building. They're not asking you to sign any forms, not asking you to join any churches. It's about saying this community is valuable and important, and we want to honor them.
And the Russian issue, what's your thought on that?
Well, there's no material threat that I can discern, and I know the league has been asked about this, but I will tell you this. I will side with the players on this one to the extent that if there is a real risk, I don't sense that there is, but to the extent that players perceive a risk, then it's legitimate. No one should put their family at risk for something like this, in my opinion. But I hope that all dissipates too.
In case you don't know, Russia passing new laws earlier this year with respect to propaganda for alternative lifestyles, and so that's the crux of that. Brian, you know, from the time of Aristotle, this reconciliation of a God and a revelation versus maybe the human or secular approach to ethics has been, it's a conundrum. And that's, you know, when you hear right now Chris Wells, associate professor at MacEwan University, Edmonton, talk about a blowback happening where folks are being afraid of replaced by ethnic minorities or by liberated women or by the LGBTQ plus community. What's your sense of how we kind of find a compromise or a middle ground here?
Well, I think we got to stick to our guns on the LGBTQ plus front. We got to stick to our guns. The NHL supports everything that's being done here. The individual teams do, the players do. We're talking about a small number of players. And I do think there is a dichotomy and a distinction between what we are saying at these games, that you are welcome here, and someone saying it goes against my religious beliefs. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, do I sense that we have bigger issues and a blowback, as you mentioned, Ron, on the right? Yes, I do, and it scares me.
Okay, dialogue, last thing. When you hear no further comment, does that strike you as kind of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement? Would you prefer the conversation continues, or do you think people are going to say, whoa, please, enough. I just can't take this?
I've never won an argument, a political argument or a religious argument in my life. I've never been able to do that. So I've never tried. I used to try when people would say things that were homophobic. I'd try to reason with them. And I realized quickly that it's very difficult to reason with someone that doesn't have any time for your discussion at all. No inclination to discuss it, no further comment. So that just indicates right there, I think there's a problem.
You know, your book's really great on that. You said, I used to rant and rail. Now I'll just feel sorry for the situation and move on. Brian, thank you so much for this. Good luck with the rest of the Caps game tonight.
Thank you very much, Ron.
The annual Pride game at Edmonton about an hour away. Third period action from Montreal, New Jersey, Raleigh, and Dallas on Hockey Night in Canada is coming up.
Bomb detonates.
There's definitely something bigger going on here.
You found something big enough to make you a target. Are you going to be all heroic and difficult, or are you going to help us save the world?
What have you gotten me into?
This is not cops and robbers. The enemy is everywhere, but he can't be seen.
This is going to hurt.
Don't miss the action as the last few teams compete in the semi-final round of Canada's Ultimate Challenge Thursday at 8 on CBC, stream free on CBC Gem. A challenge for both these two teams tomorrow. A tough schedule. The Leafs are in Nashville. Bruins are already in town to take on the Hurricanes. It can be a grind, the life of an NHL player, the life of an NHL equipment manager. No doubt even more of a grind. They will be here late tonight or very early tomorrow unpacking those bags and getting them set. We are now set for the third period. Chris and Craig.
Thanks, Sean. Bruins did the Leafs a favor beating Tampa. Toronto can move 7 points up with 2 in hand if they can post a victory here tonight.
Yeah, really important to just try to get this last period for both these teams. As Sean mentioned, Carolina's gone New York Rangers, Toronto, Boston, Tampa in a 5-game streak. So tough games coming up at the most critical time for both of them.
They tell me they won't get any easier next month.
No, they will not. It is amazing, though. You mentioned with Tampa losing. For the Maple Leafs, this is one of those games. You go tonight, if you can find a way to win one period and get that kind of a lead, go in tomorrow to Nashville, who just lost a terrible game today, 7-2, one that they needed to try to keep alive. You know, you might be in a position with a real comfortable lead that you don't have to worry about anything other than just focusing on starting on home ice for the playoffs.
Shots were 17-5, Toronto in the second period. And the shot attempts 52-34 in the game, favoring the Leafs. And those stats were tilted Carolina's way for the first half of the opening period. Morgan Riley moves it. Hall an outlet. Marner and up off Yarncroke. Right to Kachetkov, and that knocked out. How about the hand-eye by Marner? They're going to rule high stick. And they're finally going to get whistle, and because Marner was trying to force Carolina to play it, the faceoff's going to be in the Hurricane zone.
Smart play for Marner. You're right, because if he touches that, it goes outside of the zone, and instead, you're just daring and forcing Carolina to do something. Now you're thinking offense here as the Tavares line has a quick talk about what they can try to get off of this faceoff. If I'm Carolina, just play the puck and get going and get it back out of your zone.
John Tavares has 6 shots in the game. He digs in on this faceoff. And Carolina able to prevail and out at center ice. Here come the Hurricanes as Nietzsche swoops in. Martin after the puck. Nylander taken down. And play continues up ice. Michael Bunting trying to get around Slavin. And Slavin takes him down. Nietzsche gives it away. Nylander, and he missed the target in front. As a big ricochet, and Tavares unable to make contact with that. Would have had an open net.
Almost didn't need to make contact. I thought it was going to hit the goaltender in the back of the head, hitting the stanchion and coming right back in front of the net.
Well, karma for Nylander, who thought he should have drawn a penalty earlier in the sequence. And Cherry tried to get it across. Chatfield denied that pass with Michael Bunting loose in front of the net. Achari steals. He'll play it back in front off a skeet. Justin Hall at the right point. And a deflection by Lafferty. It'll be tipped by Achari. Back to Hall. Gostisbehere trying to clear. Hall, first time denied the clearing attempt, but Carolina able to work it in. Puck comes across for the veteran Giordano. Out at center, unable to connect with Lafferty. Icing wave, Kachetkov out. And around it goes to Slavin. Checked by Kemp. Here's Lafferty along the boards. Bouncing puck. And finally, it's Kotkaniemi able to work it onto the right side. Back over to Nason. Leaned on there by Liljegren. Liljegren, the least ice time for the Toronto defenseman on Thursday in Florida. It's a weak shot to the side of the net, and Murray got a pad down on that.
Well, another takedown there as both teams have looked up a couple times wondering if a call was going to be made. There's some good individual battles for those loose pucks.
Nylander comes back out, joining Aston Reese and Kemp. But back the other way, Carolina, it's Drury over the line. Former Harvard grad to Puljujarvi. With Stepan in front, the fourth line for Carolina. There's some time in the Leaf zone. And now Nylander unable to clear that. Kept alive by the Hurricanes. Centering pass, hit a skate. And Nylander gets rid of it and starts a Leaf change. Drury back in, but that play offside.
Well, turnover just inside the Carolina line gives Nylander a chance as he walks in. He's got pressure behind him, so the quick shot goes way high. But look at, just came back the other way as this, not the seamless glass here in Carolina, hit the stanchion. And instead of going far into that right corner, almost came back and created the second chance in front.
Matthews outwins the faceoff. He has been credited now with 12 shots in the game. They took one away but gave it back. We should mention the Leaf record set 30 years and 2 days ago by Dave Andreychuk, who had 15 in a game against Winnipeg. Here's Marner in, and trying to chuck that past Kochetkov.
See, Marner tried to disguise that he was going to go around the net and then through the legs. Tried to stuff it in short side before going there.
Matthews knocked down by Stahl, and a breakaway pass for Fost was denied. We've seen that breakaway play by Carolina a lot in this game. Here's Marner back into the slot, and Bunting's on it. Michael Bunting turned back. Martinook and Bunting one possession of the puck back. In deep, Nylander on the prowl. It'll be Tavares along the boards. Here's Tavares curling back against Chatfield, trying to shake the checking of the former Windsor Spitfire. And around it comes. Nylander, great hustle to keep it, and draws a penalty. He got dumped on the play. And now the Leafs get the extra attacker out, and it's Matthews off the bench. Nylander working in, and that shot deflected off target. Matthews back to Schenn. Over on the far side, Riley. They extend the power play time here, 6 on 5. Nylander in front. Kochetkov again. But now the penalty being assessed at 5:15 of the third.
Boy, turnovers are killers, aren't they? As Gostisbehere down, and Sid Marner trying to disguise that he's going to go around. Takes it to his backhand, then the last second between the legs. Good job staying on the post. And here Nylander, that quick stop up, there's no question. We've seen the 2 takedowns earlier on that weren't called. And then in tight, John Tavares has had, he said, so many shots, but so many of them have been in that 3-foot radius. And again, unable to find the 5-hole there on Kochetkov.
So third power play of the night. Looking to break through against a penalty kill that's 39 of their last 41. Leafs win the faceoff. Morgan Riley back from Matthews, drove that wide. Rebound off the end boards. Collected by Tavares, who lost it. Now battles to get it back against Fost. Matthews far side, Gordon Stahl. Fost the penalty killers. And it's Riley, an assist in the game. Matthews down low. Nylander with Tavares going to the front. Marner's up high. There's Marner hanging on in front. Matthews banged away, and Kochetkov kept that out. Marner spilled behind the net, and away with the puck is Jesper Fost. So another great chance for Austin Matthews.
Yeah, and the one thing Kochetkov has tried to do when they're in tight like that is just close the arms, get the legs tight, get a good stick in front, and 3 good chances, but nothing got through him.
Minute gone as it's the Leafs working it back in with the top unit still out there. Marner lost it, and now Liljegren, who's joined the fray, has to get back defensively with Pesce stealing it. Teravainen checks in with Aho. Leafs trying to get it back. Here's a pass across to Pesce. In behind, Murray trying to cut it off. Aho looking to center as Murray got trapped behind the net for a second or two.
They got help from Jarnkrok there. He had a good stick, didn't allow that puck to get to the front.
Late stages, second power play comes on. Jarnkrok weaves his way in. Lafferty trying to get it back, and Burns denied that pass. So just one shot on that third power play. And the Leafs are 0 for 3 tonight as Martinook steps back on. At the Leaf line, Brody. Now Burns took a whack at that, and Carolina gets control as it's deposited in the Toronto zone by Slavin. Martinook's on it, centered it, but Achari there, and the Leafs are out. Alex Kerfoot couldn't get it past Burns, and it's rolled back in. Murray out of the net with Martinook bearing down. Here's McCabe up ahead, over the line. Camp trying to catch up to that. Kerfoot follows. Gostisbehere around the boards. Hall holds the zone. Now it's out for Kotkaniemi. The former Canadian centers across. Champlain stays out. Or did it? No! Carolina has taken the lead. Looks like Stefan Nason's goal puts the Hurricanes back on top.
Oh, watch this pass as it's blocked to create the chance. Kotkaniemi's got his head up the entire way looking for a lane, forces one through, but on this wraparound for a split second, oh yeah, it's the second effort there by Nason, and Achari tried desperately to keep it out. It was sitting right on the line, and then a combination of Achari's stick and Nason staying with this one. Couldn't make the shot, tried the wraparound, and you see the reaction of Matt Murray. Thought he had it for a second, pulled the leg back, and they found a way to jam it home.
First shot of the period for Carolina, and they regain the lead on Nason's 12th of the season. Against the run of play here, and after a successful Carolina penalty kill. Martinook, that pass broken up by Aston Reese. So 8:13, time of the go-ahead goal for the Hurricanes. Stefan Nason, one game as a member of the Leafs, puts Carolina ahead against the Leafs. Carolina needs depth scoring, and they get it again from Stefan Nason tonight.
Yeah, they find areas throughout their lineup, and here's one, just never a bad thing to force it to the net. And watch Achari trying to get that toe of his stick to get it out, but Nason came back after not being able to get it the first time, got the tap in the second time, and for Rod Brind'Amour, that is the way that this team is built. Maybe not superstar high end other than the brilliance of Aho at times, but they do it by committee, and there's another example of a big goal that changes this last 11 minutes of the game.
Nason had a game-winning goal earlier this year against Seattle on a penalty shot. That one flipped away. Yarncroke trying to give chase and nearly caught up to that against Pesce. Marner sends it wide. Matthews far side. Cycles it back. Marner side of the net and couldn't connect with Yarncroke in front. And now Voss rolls it down and starts the Carolina chain. Here goes Mitch Marner. Up ahead, it's Matthews. Over the line, Matthews had it knocked off his stick by Gostisbehere. Trying to get it back with Marner along the boards and Stahl to Chatfield. Redline it in for Carolina. Leafs' next shot will be their 40th of the night. John Tavares. Nylander flipping it through, and Tavares first man on it. Here's Tavares. Kicking it back up top for Brody. Brody, and that was deflected down by Bunting, but away goes Gostisbehere, and he'll play it back into the Leaf zone. McCabe can't come up with it. Aho follows up. Here's Sebastian Aho, blocked in front, and McCabe took that up, Bunting away, but a good stick by Burns. Round it comes, and played past Nylander and out. David Kampf at center. Right back in, sends it wide of the cage. Under 9.5 to go here in the third. And it's Jarvis playing it in behind the Leaf net.
Go, guys.
Justin Hall takes his time out at center. That ricocheted off Giordano. He'll go back to get it.
That was a well-played defense against a set breakout by the Maple Leafs. Good structure there in the neutral zone, and the D jumping up to make the play and turn it over.
And here comes Nason on the counter. Poked away from Kotkaniemi. Matthews flipped that ahead, and here comes Kerfoot. Matthews getting the extra shift. Liljegren off the bench. Trying to get it to Matthews. Marner after that. And it's played back to center. Here's Mitch Marner back in. Can't get it to Matthews. And it's sent out by Jarvis. Morgan Riley shoots it in, and Kochetkov plays it away. That one sent to the Leaf line, and TJ Brody's got it. 17 shots for the Leafs in the second period, but now that Carolina's got the lead, those shots are a little harder to come by, aren't they? And Pesce heeled that, but maybe a break here for Bunting. Michael Bunting with speed, roaring in, and he sent that wide stick side. Tavares centers, off a skate in front, and McCabe just missed, and he looked up into the rafters. Kept in by Brody. Here's TJ Brody, back to McCabe. Tavares in front of the net, and Brady Shea is there, and Stahl will clear.
Boy, McCabe can't believe he just ripped that one up and over the net. A couple of good little quick passes created that chance. Best chance to tie it there for the Leafs.
He had that great chance earlier in the game as well, so a couple of opportunities for McCabe. And now Aston Reese knocked down a puck at the Carolina line. Tied up there though, and it comes out. Now Justin Hall right back in. Sends it in behind the cage. Retrieved there by Aston Reese. He's checked and Chatfield clears. Aho in center. Trying to shift gears on Giordano. And fired that right on. Murray bats that into the corner. Hurricane taken down. Fans react. The referee does not.
This is where the structure of the Canes, though, is so difficult to chip your way through. The neutral zone just gets clogged up. They really stay up on the line and don't allow very many easy entries as you're trying to get back into this game.
Around 5 minutes without a whistle here in the third. And now just over 6 minutes left. The Leafs looking for a game-tying goal. Kerfoot in front. Nylander tipped away by Kochetkov. Nice work by Kerfoot to spring Nylander. That hit the speed of Nylander. And in comes Teravainen whipping that high. Gostisbehere to an open wing. Chatfield stepped up. There's Chatfield, and that deflects up onto the netting, and finally a whistle with 5:43 to go. McCabe shaking his head about a missed opportunity. And there's one that goes high, and the Leafs trail.
Dam Financial Group. All heart for community hockey and the people who make it happen.
5:43 remaining. Pyotr Kochetkov's been a story tonight. 38 stops. Leafs with 40 shots. We've mentioned Carolina very stingy. Number one in shots allowed. Most they've allowed in one game, 41 by Boston earlier this season. Leafs a shot away in more ways than one.
Yeah, they've had more held teams to under 20 shots more than any other team in the National Hockey League. So after the slow start on the shot clock, the Leafs have been able to at least generate the chances. But as you mentioned, the goaltender's done his part tonight.
So the Leafs move it back into Carolina ice. Gostisbehere gave it away. Camp right on. Another puck squirts to the side of the net. Nason there. Doesn't clear. Kept in by McCabe. Good work here by Camp coming off the end boards, handing it to Kerfoot. Alex Kerfoot holds. Now he'll hand it off. McCabe on the move again. Flip that. High through the goal mouth. And now Achari's on it. It's the most offensive there's Matthews in. Most offensive we've seen McCabe since joining the Leafs.
Yeah, he's really been involved, hasn't he? He's read the play well, jumped into the openings, and been able to create about 5 good scoring chances.
Great work by Jarvis. The 21-year-old beats out an icing call, but the Leafs will head north, led by Marner. Marner around Teravainen, sends it rink wide. Matthews hands it off. That shot deflecting off the end glass. Yarncrook trying to get it back, but Jordan Staal there turns away from Marner. Up the boards, Hall able to seal the wall the first time, and now it deflects out. Now Marner sent that rink wide, and that is going to be icing as Matthews couldn't catch up.
It's on, Ontario. Tap into nonstop sports action with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and feel the roar of the king of sportsbooks.
And you saw Boston's gear here. They'll play Carolina while the Leafs will head to Nashville for an early evening start. Or is that late afternoon?
Late afternoon, yeah. So 5 o'clock local time, so a quick transition and changeover. 4:04 to decide this one, though. And
on the draw, Martinook against Matthews. Here's Martinook playing it right on goal, and Murray's got to eat that, and we'll step aside. 3:57 remaining here in Raleigh. Chasing them in the standings, 6 back, 10 games to go for each.
You look around the league and there's huge games every night, isn't there? Just some great matchups, and there'll be lots of fun. Matthias Ekholm and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Scott Oak on After Hours.
Well, this has had a playoff feel to it. And a 1-goal game with under 4 minutes remaining.
And this is playoff style, you know, a 1-goal lead, Carolina trying to take to the finish line. Not a lot of open ice, a lot of hard battles for pucks on both sides.
Giordano clearing attempt was knocked down. Bunting able to help work it ahead, and now Tavares and Nylander are in. Nylander's had such a penchant for late big goals this season. 14 in the last 10 minutes of the third period overtime for Nylander. That is 36 this year. Here's Tavares to Nylander, and back. Bunting goes to the front of the net. Tavares tracked by Burns. Liljegren sends it on goal, or toward the goal, and deflected by Bunting wide. Now Nylander hooks off his stick, but Matthews arrives. Into the slot for Riley, loose in front, whacking away, whistle blows, and this one will not, or will it? Matthews puts it in, Bunting celebrating. I thought I heard a whistle, and the officials are going to talk about it.
There's no question the whistle went, but you've remembered at times the continuation play can turn this around. This is one the referee lost total sight. Mitch Dunning behind the net. Let's get the call here.
The call on the ice has been overturned to a good goal and continuation. The play will now be reviewed.
I think we've seen that twice this season.
We have.
Now. Good call, Craig Simpson.
You know, it doesn't happen all that often, but clearly the puck is not underneath and out of play. It's been in play this entire time, and there's the pass from Bunting. Look at his reaction. Not a reaction at all for Matthews, as that'll be shot number 14, his most. And I think this continuation will live and be a good goal. Imagine if this is a playoff game. I
So-
mean, these are the moments
Yes.
that just change a series, isn't it?
So now that they've overturned the original call, they look at it again and will get confirmation.
Following video review, the call on the ice is confirmed. It's a good goal.
It's a subtle change, but boy, is it a big one, isn't it?
And that Leaf fan enjoying it. And Austin Matthews back-to-back 2-goal games.
How about Matthews? He doesn't even show any emotion at all. He's just doing his business, and there's the eyes and the reaction of Rod Brind'Amour. Is he going to challenge goaltender interference?
Looks like we may have a...
They're going
No,
back.
no,
okay.
they're not.
Looked like the official was going to the box to have another little talk. Boy, when you look at breaks, that's a huge one for the Leafs here to tie this game up.
January 7th in Toronto, the Leafs against Detroit. We saw that call made, so back on even terms. And Austin Matthews is just, well, there's a deflection in front, and Kochetkov held on to that. Matthews now has tied for the team lead in goals, which doesn't sound like news, but the way the season's gone, it has become news.
And you know what, it's almost like the timing of that whistle coming after the pass by Bunting, I think was the key. If that puck is still being batted around in front of the goaltender and the whistle had gone and then the pass happens, I don't think you see that being called a goal.
Bunting and Riley draw assists. Morgan Riley has a pair of points in the game. So 2:40 left here. And now Sebastian Aho's in. And that shot off Riley wide of the net. Liljegren was tied up with Natchez. And that allowed Aho with through rebound. And Aho scores! Two seconds after the Leafs had tied it, Sebastian Aho gets it back.
And it's a common theme with the Carolina Hurricanes, the flip pass. It started the game off in their favor, gave them a power play. It gave them a chance here. Sebastian Aho, the curl and drag. Puck's blocked, but they kept it alive. And here's one out of the corner that just gets blocked in front. The rebound there. And Aho on the doorstep. He wanted the puck earlier on, but he's in a good, quick position. The backhand up and over Murray. It's that flip pass that gives the defenders so much trouble, and the Canes take advantage of it yet again.
So the star center of the Leafs tied it. The star center of the Hurricanes gets the lead back, but not done yet. Tavares with a steal at the line and now cleared. The Leafs tied it. At 17:02, Aho restores the lead at 17:34.
Oh, and what a killer that is, isn't it? You think, okay, you get a goal against you that you're arguing about, the coach is emotional, and the big players come right back. You saw how close that was for Murray coming across, and credit Aho, got it up just high enough that Murray wasn't able to get it with his pad, and this does have a playoff atmosphere, does it? That kind of quick change goal changes the momentum hugely.
Matt Murray on the bench. Kochetkov, by the way, has a goalie goal in the American League. Austin Matthews to Riley to Marner. Shot goes off a leg and it's out. And Foss goes after it. Riley beats him to the puck. Just under 2 minutes left. Marner slowly out. Up ahead it goes, a nice pass, and Tavares in. Kochetkov able to make that stop. Wasn't sure where the rebound was. Along the board, Bunting battles. Backed up by Matthews to hold it in. Comes towards Kochetkov. And now flipped away to center. Glove down quickly off. But cleared by Tavares, and now empty net. Teravainen scores, hits the target, and puts this one away.
Boy, just when you thought like the Hurricanes might have just sagged a little bit, the big comeback, turnover in the neutral zone, Aho with the bank pass, and how about this for a quick little turnaround? A no-look spinorama. Riley goes to the outside, Teravainen takes it back to the inside and puts it in the open net.
12th of the year for Teuvo Teravainen, and 11 have come here on home ice, and he got the crowd standing after that. So after the tying goal, Carolina answers and adds an empty netter. And this one just about done in the final minute. Kerfoot back in his own zone. Murray back in the net. Acciari trying to track that down. Chatfield around and over skating it is Kerfoot. Just rolled down inside the line. Justin Hall turned back by Teravainen. Lafferty's pass intercepted by Stahl. Final 20 seconds. Leafs won the first two meetings, but the third one's going to go to Carolina here tonight as they will expand their lead in the Metropolitan. 5-3 the finals. Kochetkov and the Hurricanes will celebrate tonight. Hard-fought night, and the Leafs head away empty-handed and will make their way to Nashville to play the Predators tomorrow. Again, 5-3 the final. Let's head to the final of Ottawa at Bend, New Jersey.
Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library.